My name is Carl Wills. I am so excited to be here to show you Course Counter today. Like Meg said, Course Counter is a mobile app that I built in Flutter using a Supabase backend to help support licensed professionals with their continuing education that they need to renew that license. I'm sure everybody here in the room knows probably one person, probably more, who need occupational licenses to do their job. These are teachers, lawyers, social workers, electricians, many, many more. About 30% of the entire American workforce need these licenses to do their jobs, and most of them are completely unsupported in how they track and manage the continuing education that they need to upkeep those licenses. So I saw the people in my life struggle to track all this stuff and not stress about it. And so I thought, I'm a software developer, I can fix this problem, and I built Course Counter. So this is Course Counter here on the left. There's a QR code up there if you want to scan it, find some ways to connect with me. But this is an example of an LICSW here in Minnesota. That's a social work license. And if we scroll down, we can take a look at what the governing board requires of you. That's some ethics credits, some culture credits, some clinical credits, and you can't do more than 20 credits independently. That's a lot. That's challenging to keep track of, especially when this is what we're dealing with. This is a paper certificate that my wife earned back in 2023. And for most people, these just go in their desk drawer and only come out periodically to then be rescanned so they can do the math all over again to figure out where they stand. But with Course Counter, you can take a quick snapshot of your certificate, and we parse all the information for you, making it really, really easy. I thought of using a traditional optical character recognition workflow for this, but what I found is just using one of the Gemini Flash models that, since they take multimodal input, was a lot more reliable and flexible, since this information can be anywhere on this piece of paper. And me, somebody making this on my own, was a lot more maintainable. So this is one way that people earn credits through one-off courses, get a paper like this, and then find somewhere to put it. Another big way that people earn credits is through conferences. So conferences are great. You can go to them and earn a lot of credits all at one time. But in terms of managing the requirements that each session satisfies for compliance is messy. It's kind of a nightmare. Course Counter sits at a really interesting place in this because we understand the requirements of your license in that context, and conferences will publicize their schedule and their session schedule. And in these spaces where licenses are required, they publicize what requirements each session satisfies. So we'll take a look at an example conference here built into the app. And because of that, I can just pull all that information into Course Counter itself, and you can use this as a scheduling tool, or while you're sitting in the session, track your credits as you're doing them, instead of 3 weeks later when you're at home trying to remember what you did. I was actually talking to somebody the other day who had the last 4 years of conference booklets in their desk. Sorry about that. Because they needed to keep track of all of that. So I'm going to just select this Medicare session, and all of those requirements are pulled right into my license. And so if we look at that, we've now satisfied our clinical requirement, and we don't have to re-add that up ever again. Okay, so this is what you do for years, and then it's time to renew your license. If you don't do this, your license will lapse, and you can't practice, you can't bill. For organizations, this can mean thousands of dollars of lost revenue, or legal trouble and compliance issues if you continue to practice unlicensed, which is obviously very bad. And so what this process looks like is you download a form, you fill it out, you send some money to your governing board, and hopefully they approve it. The other option is they can audit you, and that's no fun. Auditing is super scary, high stress, and you are now on the hook to prove that you took all the continuing education that you said you did. But we're using Course Counter, and that means that you're totally fine. Course Counter will remind you periodically up until your renewal deadline, so you're never at the panic mode 2 weeks before your license renews, trying to find that last ethics credit. But if you do get audited, you can download all of the information into a PDF report that you can send off to your governing board. And you've got everything you need. So Course Counter up to date has been entirely individual focused on serving individual people in their licensing journey. We actually have helped people from 37 states, and we just passed 100 different license types this week, which is really great. But I was thinking about it, and I think there's a great opportunity for even more than that. So I'm looking for the first Minnesota-based business that wants to be a founding partner with me to build what I'm calling Course Counter for Teams. Because not only is compliance important for you as an individual, it's incredibly important for your organization. And so what this may look like is obviously member management and things like that, but you can see anybody in your group's license status at any time, making sure that they're keeping it up to date. And I know a lot of organizations around here will offer continuing education during the workday to their employees. And think about how much easier it would be to just push that to all of your employees or all the people in your organization, rather than tracking them down after the fact. So I can make a quick test credit here to show how that would work, and push it to my user here, and we can see in the Course Counter app how that would immediately update, making compliance tracking easier than it's ever been. Let me swap here. Demos are fun. And here we see that culture credit that I just added. So making organizational tracking easier than ever. Use that QR code if you want to find different ways to connect with me. The app is live in both app stores. So if you're somebody that needs to track this, you can try it out for free. Send it to anybody that you know that has an organizational license to help them out. And please, I'll be around after the show. Connect with me. I'd love to chat. Thank you.